what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. My wife and I sat down with Harlan Mitchell and discussed our own estate planning needs. I know in our experience, Harlan brought up questions that caused us to think about our current situation and what we need to do moving forward. When you sit down with Harlan for your free consultation, you're going to find out things that you may have not thought about when it comes to estate planning. I encourage you to go to BamaEstatePlanning.com or give Harlan Mitchell a call at 256-216-9884 and schedule your free consultation today.
Would you like enhanced energy, better moods, less fatigue, help with allergies, better sleep, mental clarity, or just want improvement of your overall immune health and well-being? Do you need to recover from intense activities, workouts, or sports? Then IV therapy at the Drip Factor inside Trinity Medical Center is right for you. Our IV drips are filled with nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that will help your body replenish, restore, and achieve your wellness goals. For more information, visit trinity-medicalcare.com and schedule your appointment today at Trinity Medical Center, located at 500 Governors Drive.
Hello, my name is Christian Martinez. I'm a rising senior at Athens Bible School. My school is great because of the wonderful environment in which students can grow and flourish. We have great academics that include the University Preparatory Diploma and dual enrollment courses that lead to an associate's degree before high school graduation. All my teachers and the school's employees are Christians who are devoted to the welfare of students. We have an excellent student body, competitive sports program, and study the Bible first thing every day. It's a great place. Please consider joining us at ABS next year, or give that special child in your life the great opportunity I have.
Whether you're new to aviation or an experienced pilot looking to advance your skills, Go Vertical Aviation has you covered. With an excellent learning atmosphere and a staff committed to excellence in education, Go Vertical Aviation will customize a learning program just for you. For more information, go to goverticalaviation.com or call 256-412-5226. Be sure to follow Go Vertical Aviation on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Don't just go. Go vertical.
Boutique Air in Muscle Shoals, Alabama offers direct flights to Atlanta, Nashville, and Pensacola. Boutique Air service runs twice daily, 7 days a week, with fares starting at $59. Follow Boutique Air Muscle Shoals on Facebook at Boutique Air MSL and book your flight through boutiqueair.com. Boutique Air,
where you can fly private for the cost of commercial.
Hey everybody, this is Daryl Worley, and you're listening to The Mark White Show. Hey, step up and make a difference like he does.
Hey y'all, this is Jeff Foxworthy, and you can make a huge difference in somebody's life. You just may not have figured out how yet, and that's why you're listening to The Mark White Show.
Hi, this is Maggie Peterson. I played Charlene Darling on The Andy Griffith Show, and you are listening to The Mark White Show.
Hi, folks. This is Ricky Skaggs, and you're listening to The Mark White Show.
Hello, I'm Gene Stallings, and this is The Mark White Show. Get off the sideline and get involved and make a difference in your community.
You are listening to The Mark White Show. My daddy is your host, Mark White.
Do something good today.
Welcome to a Saturday edition of the Mark White Show. I am your host, Mark White, and I'm so very glad that you could join us as we recognize difference makers and share their stories to encourage and inspire us all to make a difference where we can. Now, a couple of weeks ago, my friend Brad Cicero passed away. He was from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He was a great mentor to me and many people as I was a student at the University of Alabama. And as some of you know, Brad Cicero had Parkinson's disease. One of the things that I noticed in the obituary when it got down to the bottom and it talks about in lieu of flowers, they wanted donations to go to Parkinson's Foundation. Now, at the same time, last month was Parkinson's Awareness Month, and I had a friend, Benny Sorrell, who has Parkinson's as we speak, and he was bringing awareness to this subject because, of course, it's his battle. And I don't want to be a person who says, well, that's somebody else's battle because it's not my problem. It is my problem, and it's your problem, and it's an issue that we can all tackle and take on if we choose to do that. We don't have to have the same circumstances. We don't have to have Parkinson's to care. Right now, I have on the line with me John Lehr, and he's president and CEO of the Parkinson's Foundation. I reached out to the Parkinson's Foundation so that we could bring awareness through the Mark White Show. Welcome to the Mark White Show, John Lehr.
Thank you so much, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. And as you just heard, I want to show concern. I care about people right now who are battling Parkinson's disease.
Sure. Yeah, Mark, it's very sorry to hear about your friend Brad and your other friend who's living with Parkinson's. It's personal. I get that. And it's personal for so many of us here in the U.S. and around the world because Parkinson's is a disease that affects many, many people, and particularly people who are starting to move into their 60s, 70s, and 80s, although there are certainly people who are younger who have what we call young onset Parkinson's disease. But in the United States, more than 1 million Americans are living with Parkinson's disease, and that also affects their spouses and care partners and their families and their friends. So it's a disease that reaches, to many, many Americans, unfortunately.
When we talk about what we're able to do when it comes to people with Parkinson's and what they're battling, we want a cure. We want something to take place that changes the situation that they're in. And albeit it could be ALS or it could be Huntington's, as we'll be talking about later on. What is it at this moment that shows a glimmer of hope for people with Parkinson's?
Yeah, what I would say is you're right. I mean, cure is often elusive. So there are some diseases like cystic fibrosis and ALL leukemia where there have been great progress made in terms of identifying, I wouldn't call them cures, but symptom controls that allow people to live, much longer lives and without the threat of the disease. That's not the case in Parkinson's, but we are really doing our best to understand the underlying causes of the disease and the basic biology of the disease. One area that really offers a hope is genetics. We have found that there are some individuals, about 15%, 10 to 15%, who have what we call a genetic form of Parkinson's. That is, there are genetic mutations within their bodies that are causing Parkinson's. The interesting thing is that there are medications that can target those genetic mutations and maybe reverse or stop the cause of, the Parkinson's disease that's being caused by those genetic mutations. And if that's the case, then that could be then extrapolated to the larger population. We've seen this in other diseases, in fact, in cystic fibrosis, where they worked on a small mutation of the population, and then they extrapolated to the larger population with great success. So we're hoping that genetics is an avenue for new therapies, new discoveries, and hopefully a modification of the disease.
One of the things that I noticed was an expansion of the Foundation's Center of Excellence network. What is the benefit to the people who are facing Parkinson's when it comes to these centers of excellence?
Yeah, so we have, as you say, we have 47 centers of excellence. 33 of them are here in the United States, and then the rest are around the world. Our goal is to continue to expand and acknowledge centers of excellence. There are likely more centers of excellence out there. We just haven't gotten around to anointing them. What makes them so special is that they have what's called a movement disorder specialist leading the team. That is a neurologist who has extra training in Parkinson's disease and other movement disorders. So the physician, he or she, can look at a patient with Parkinson's and see things that maybe other clinicians might not see. The other thing about the Centers of Excellence is that they provide a multidisciplinary approach. So in addition to the neurologist, you'll get mental health, you'll get social work, PT, OT, speech, all of the disciplines that are important in caring for people with Parkinson's. It's a full body disease. It doesn't just affect movement and brain. It affects every system of the body. And so having a multidisciplinary care team is really critical. And you will find those at Centers of Excellence, Parkinson's Foundation Centers of Excellence. So the care is often very high quality. That's not to say that there isn't great high quality in other places. There is for sure. But these folks at these centers have really gone the extra mile. And they are often very much involved in clinical research to figure out, better ways to care for people with Parkinson's and bring best practices to a larger and wider community.
One of the things that's very important, and I mentioned this, is someone who passes away and their family says, we want you to donate to the Parkinson's Foundation in lieu of flowers. And I know that your background is helping to raise funds through nonprofits. You have decades of experience in that realm. And you graduated from Villanova College and you had a history degree. I'd like to know what your passion is, what led you to be part of the Parkinson's Foundation, and what is your drive to raise funds for this effort?
Sure. Well, thank you for asking. So, you mentioned Villanova, so I came out of a university which really places an emphasis on caring for other folks. And I went into the Peace Corps, as an extension of that, and then got into medical health around the fundraising side, and really just saw what can happen when you bring resources to really smart, talented individuals, both clinicians and researchers working on tough diseases, and how that can positively benefit people living with those diseases. So my career has been exclusively in healthcare. And, when I got the opportunity to become to the Parkinson Foundation, I jumped at it. I had known somebody when I was a younger person who lived with Parkinson's, and I saw the challenges that the disease presented to her. And, I thought I could bring, some of my skills to the Parkinson Foundation and hopefully to benefit people living with this disease. We really have a twofold mission. One is to, as we've been talking, to find, things that, through research, things that control the symptoms and hopefully ultimately lead to a cure. But the other part of our mission is to ensure that people live well with this disease every day. People with Parkinson's can live a very long life after their diagnosis, and we want to make sure that they have all the resources and access to all the resources that allows them to live a full, meaningful, and healthy and happy life in spite of their Parkinson's. The ability to help people every day live with a tough disease and maintain their quality of life is something that motivates me every day to get up and come to work.
You mentioned, John, someone you knew personally. I think back to when I was in middle school, and a friend of mine, Mr. Miles Johnson, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and it was the first time I had ever heard of Parkinson's. And each person that we know of, or each story that we hear, it can lead us to finding a purpose within a certain area, because, as we mentioned from the very beginning, that if it affects a friend or someone we know, then suddenly we feel that we have a vested interest in that subject because we have a person that we care about that's battling it. It sounds like that's what happened to you with this particular lady that you knew.
Yeah, absolutely. She was a woman who was very close to our family, and when you're a young person, you don't always think about disease and how it affects people. But seeing it firsthand and seeing her struggles really stayed with me for a lifetime. And as we are a population of people who are older and people who are affected by diseases that we didn't necessarily see 100 plus years ago, like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and ALS, we're seeing more of those diseases because people are living longer. And, at every generation we see it. When you're a young person, you may have a grandparent who has the disease. And so, learning how you can help them and be a part of their lives is really critical. I mean, the one thing I'll say, Mark, is social isolation for these types of diseases, Parkinson's in particular, is really great. So the more understanding, the more caring that we can bring to people with Parkinson's, the better. They're so greatly appreciative of it. And really, frankly, it's an easy thing to do. Just a kind word or, and helping out here and there is really just very important.
Well, John, I know that you've helped to raise a lot of money for Parkinson's disease and $30 million in research and clinical grants for promising Parkinson's disease studies. That's very important. What I want to do is take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to speak to listeners, and we're talking about $5, $10, $20, maybe more, maybe $100, but I want to speak to these people and give you an opportunity to share a message with them so that they understand why they should commit their funds to Parkinson's research, okay?
Sounds great.
Great. Folks, right now we're talking to President and CEO of the Parkinson's Foundation, John Lehr. I hope you'll stick with us as we continue this conversation. Again, we want to express our condolences to the Cicero family and also want to recognize anyone who's listening right now who is either affected by Parkinson's directly or has a loved one who has Parkinson's. I want you to know that the Mark White Show's in your corner, just like the Parkinson's Foundation and John Lehr there at the Parkinson's Foundation. We support you, and we want to bring awareness to this subject. I want you to live as full a life as possible and enjoy this life that we have. You are listening to the Mark White Show, and I'm your host, Mark White.
A little wink, a pat on the back, a big old hug, a little laugh. We can make a difference. All we have to do is try. Every day's a chance to change somebody else's life. Let's all do something good today.
The best way to buy, sell, and experience land is with Jonathan Berryhill. For your farm, ranch, recreational, hunting, timber, and acreage needs, contact National Land Realty Professional Jonathan Berryhill at 256-874-7354 or email at jberryhill@nationalland.com. Be sure to follow Jonathan Berryhill with National Land Realty on Facebook. This is your land. Thompson Roofing and Construction is a locally owned family business serving the North Alabama and Southern Tennessee area. They are a Better Business Bureau A+ member since 2011 and a GAF Master Elite Contractor. Give them a call at 256-952-3309 or check them out on the web at 256roofing.com. They offer free inspections.
Thompson Roofing and Construction.
Is it time for a haircut? Go see my friends Philip Butler and B.H. Parker at Southwind Barbershop, located at 1637 Lee Street in Rogersville, Alabama. Give them a call at 256-247-5658. That's 256-247-5658.
Mr. Cecil Batchelor is the one that started this business as Dependable Service Center. And even though now it's Green's Dependable Hardware and we're a True Value store, our tagline is still Your Dependable Service Center. We've tried to keep that alive for all these years. Mr. Batchelor really started a good business. We're really excited to be carrying on a long-standing tradition. It's the oldest retail store in the city of Russellville. We're Green's Dependable Hardware, 15220A Highway 43 in Russellville, Huntsville, Alabama. We're right behind McDonald's or right across the street from the hospital. Number is 256-331-0123.
Your dependable service center.
This is John from John's Reading Stock. I love the Mark White Show. Trust the mic.
To the city, works extra hard all day, finishes up early so he can get away, 'cause there's a blue-eyed kid on second base, wants dad to watch him play.
Welcome back to the Mark White Show. This is a Saturday edition of the Mark White Show, and as I mentioned in the first segment, I want to bring awareness to Parkinson's disease. We want to show people who have Parkinson's that we care and that it is a subject and an issue that we want to tackle here at the Mark White Show. I reached out to the Parkinson's Foundation, and I just want to thank Mona for organizing this interview with Mr. John Lehr. He's the president and CEO of the Parkinson's Foundation. He's on the line with us right now. Welcome back to the Mark White Show, John.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Well, funding, it's the word that people don't want to hear. Sometimes it's to get money out of people's pockets. You know, 2020 was very difficult for a lot of nonprofits, including regular businesses, but nonprofits, it was a struggle for them to come up with creative ways to raise funds. I understand that. The work still goes on. The mission still happens. The work's still here. It takes funding to make that happen. And I know that you would probably agree with this, whether it's $1 or $1 million, every person that's able to donate, to commit to helping this effort is a person who is needed, who is wanted.
Well, that's absolutely true, Mark. You know, we say and believe and know it's true that every dollar helps. What I often say is, think of it as making an investment in better care, better research. Rather than just giving money, think of it as an investment, things that are money that will build on existing infrastructure and resources that we have and grow them, and make things better for people living with Parkinson's. And as you say, we have donors giving us $1, $5. We have donors giving us, up to $1 million or more. Every dollar counts because we use every dollar to advance our mission. One of the things I'm most proud of at the Parkinson Foundation is we have the highest rating among all of the independent nonprofit charity groups that rate, rating groups. And that's because we take very clear our responsibility to spend the money in the best way possible. And that's really for mission programs.
If someone wants to donate, what is the best path for them to go? I know there's several options. One of the things that people do sometimes is when they have a loved one that passes away, they do a legacy donation. They contribute to Parkinson's. Some people may contribute monthly. Some people may be one-time contributors. But how can someone see the different options for them to donate and to contribute to this effort?
Yeah, the easiest way to do that, Mark, is to go right to our website, which is parkinson.org. That's parkinson.org. And there's many different ways. You'll see buttons on there, how to donate right on the front page. And then it'll give a number of different options, including, as you mentioned, making a legacy gift for somebody who has passed away, or a memorial gift. And, we have a lot of people that honor their loved ones or their friends or family who passed away through that mechanism. And that's the easiest and shortest way to do it. The other way to do it is you can always mail a check into the foundation to our office in New York, which is 1359 Broadway. That's New York, New York. 118 is the zip code. So 1359 Broadway, New York, New York, 10018.
And let's also, before we close out, talk about the helpline.
Yeah, so we have a helpline that's dedicated to helping people live with Parkinson's. Anybody who has a question about Parkinson's can call that. That's 800-4PD-INFO. That's 800-4PD-INFO or 800-473-4636.
John, I understand that you believe we can help people with Parkinson's disease live better today by improving health and quality of life through patient education, resources, and expert care, while investing in research that leads to medical breakthroughs as quickly as possible. I agree with that message. I believe in that message, and I hope that there are listeners out there who believe that we can move forward with this and will choose to support this effort through the Parkinson's Foundation.
Well, thank you so much, Mark. We greatly appreciate it, and we're grateful to your listeners for hearing about our mission.
John Lehr, thank you for joining me here on the Mark White Show today.
Thanks, Mark. Have a great weekend.
You too. When we come back, we're going to have retired Gaston County, North Carolina police officer Christopher Lowrance joining us as he's riding his bike coast to coast 4,300 miles to bring awareness to first responder suicide through Blue Help. I hope you'll stick with us. You are listening to The Mark White Show, and I'm your host, Mark White.
Special kind of
If you like hickory smoked ribs that fall apart at the slightest pull, or barbecue shoulders that are so slow smoked each tender bite melts in your mouth, then you are going to love Baby Jack's Barbecue. Baby Jack's Barbecue in Bartlett and Arlington. Try the barbecue chicken, beef brisket sandwich, barbecue potato, it is huge, or the Baby Jack Trio, pork, turkey, or beef brisket sliders. You like wet ribs? They like dry ribs. Get one slab that has them both. Catering? Baby Jack's can feed a family or an army. Drive in, drive through, order online, or come in and set a minute. Baby Jack's Barbecue in Bartlett at Highway 70 in Appling, or in Arlington at Highway 70 just a block west of 385.
He's got a cold, nothing to worry about.
Just need a couple of stitches.
Your COVID rapid test is negative.
Oh boy, X-ray shows it's broken.
Trust Trinity Medical Care when you need urgent care or routine medical care. Walk-ins are welcome, or let Trinity help you virtually with telemedicine. Visit trinity-medicalcare.com for more information and follow them on Facebook. Trinity Medical Care, where your care comes first. Located on Governor's Drive and South Parkway.
Hello, my name is Christian Martinez. I'm a rising senior at Athens Bible School. My school is great because of the wonderful environment in which students can grow and flourish. We have great academics that include the University Preparatory Diploma and dual enrollment courses that lead to an associate's degree before high school graduation. All my teachers and the school's employees are Christians who are devoted to the welfare of students. We have an excellent student body, competitive sports program, and study the Bible first thing every day. It's a great place. Please consider joining us at ABS next year, or give that special child in your life the great opportunity I have.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. Losing a loved one is hard, but losing a loved one and not having an estate plan is even harder. Attorney Harlan Mitchell witnessed what not having an estate plan can do to families and decided to use his experience to do something about it. I encourage you to go to BamaEstatePlanning.com or give Harlan Mitchell a call at 256-216-9884. Again, that website is BamaEstatePlanning.com. Let Harlan Mitchell help you with estate planning. Do it for those you love, and do it today. Whether you're new to aviation or an experienced pilot looking to advance your skills, Go Vertical Aviation has you covered. With an excellent learning atmosphere and a staff committed to excellence in education, Go Vertical Aviation will customize a learning program just for you. For more information, go to goverticalaviation.com or call 256-412-5226. Be sure to follow Go Vertical Aviation on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Don't just go. Go vertical.
Boutique Air in Muscle Shoals, Alabama offers direct flights to Atlanta, Nashville, and Pensacola. Boutique Air service runs twice daily, 7 days a week, with fares starting at $59. Follow Boutique Air Muscle Shoals on Facebook at Boutique Air MSL and book your flight through boutiqueair.com. Boutique Air,
where you can fly private for the cost of commercial.
Red and yellow and pink and green, purple and orange and blue. I can sing rainbow to you. Listen to your eyes, listen to your eyes.
You can sing
a rainbow, sing a rainbow,
sing along with me.
Red and yellow and pink and green.
Welcome back to a Saturday edition of the Mark White Show. I am your host, Mark White, and many of you that have followed the Mark White Show for a couple of years now at least remember Van Booth, and you remember his walk from coast to coast in an effort to bring awareness to PTSD and veteran suicide. We followed Van Booth's walk, and it meant a lot to Van Booth. I know as he received help along the way, he met so many wonderful people across this country. I found the other day through Blue Help a law enforcement officer that wanted to make a bike ride across the country, and his name is Christopher Lowrance, and he is in the middle of, and I mentioned it the other day, A Penny for Their Thoughts. It's a Facebook group, and he is going across the country as well to bring awareness to law enforcement suicide. Welcome to the Mark White Show, Christopher.
Thank you, Mark.
As you know, I'm a former law enforcement officer myself. You served a long time yourself.
Yes, sir. I work with Gaston County Police Department in Gastonia, North Carolina. I started there in 1992, and I retired February 1st of this year.
Well, congratulations on your retirement.
Well, thank you, Mark.
It sounds like you've found something to do with the time that you have on your hands with your retirement so far.
Well, I had a big project at home going on, building a garage, and was hoping to have that finished before I left. And I've kind of had to leave that in my wife's hands to take care of, that with 2 school-age children still at home. But I feel like what I'm doing is an important thing, and bringing awareness to mental health with all first responders, and in particularly suicide as it relates to law enforcement.
Christopher, how do you present this to your wife and your kids and tell them that you want to go do this and get their blessing?
Well, Mark, everything started with me with cycling through my father-in-law. His name was Dean Ward. He lived in Beach Mountain, North Carolina. And he was an avid cyclist, and we had planned to do a cycling trip together, and he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and died about 7 months after he was diagnosed. We never got to ride together, but I went ahead and did a Mountains to the Coast ride in North Carolina that year that he was going to do with me. He couldn't due to his treatments. The next year I did the Mountains to the Coast again, and when it came time to get almost time to retire, I told my wife that it would be kind of cool to cycle across the United States just to clear my mind. Amazingly enough, she said, go do it. She said there was things that her dad didn't get to do that he wanted to do, and that if it was something I really wanted to do, that everything would work out for me to go on my ride. As I got into the logistics of it and started planning, I kind of realized what the magnitude of the trip would be, and I figured that it needed to be bigger than just me. At that time, I started researching different organizations that I wanted to support through my ride, and I came across Blue Help, read about them, and saw how they assist families of officers who die by suicide, and reached out to Karen Solomon in Massachusetts, and we've kind of got this thing put together, and we're making it happen.
I see that you're in the state of Oregon right now. When I started in law enforcement, I took a break for a little while and started a tortilla factory, and I actually me and my wife traveled to Bend, Oregon, so I could learn how to make tortillas from a gentleman named Mario Huerta, and he had a tortilla factory there in Bend. So I know about where you're going to be in the next couple of days, and the fact is that you have a long road ahead of you, but so far you have found support from people, complete strangers out there.
Oh, I absolutely have. I was having difficulty finding a rental car to get from Portland to Astoria, Oregon, where I was going to start my trip. I reached out to Karen Solomon at Blue Help, and through some of the connections that she has with different law enforcement support groups, I came in contact with a Patrick Landau and his wife, Kim. They offered to drive from their home in Springfield, Oregon to Portland and pick me up, take me to Astoria. They stayed at the hotel that night with me, took me out to dinner, and saw me off Sunday morning on my ride. I ran into people already. I'm 4 days deep in the ride. People have, a waitress bought my lunch one day. Today there was a manager at the Carl's Jr. restaurant, kind of like a Hardee's back home in North Carolina. He took care of my lunch. And I was actually stopped on the side of the road and was had my head down on the handlebars talking to a coworker. And another gentleman stopped. His name's Hector Rodriguez. And Hector invited me to his house in Corvallis, Oregon, offered me a warm shower, dinner, and a place to stay to clean up. And since I've been riding in the rain for the last 2 days, I took him up on his offer, and that's actually where I'm at tonight. I'm in Corvallis, Oregon.
You know, Christopher, as I listen to you talk, and I know from Van's experience and him telling me, there are going to be times when you wonder, why am I doing this? There are going to be moments on your trip that those thoughts are going to come to your mind. But I know that if you think about the support that you have thus far, you have almost 1,000 people who are following A Penny for Their Thoughts. You have examples like Hector and his wife where you're at now. You have the stories that you've shared thus far just 4 days in, Christopher. And I know that you can think on those things as you make this journey and the purpose behind it, and know that you have a lot of people who are supporting you and cheering you on, including myself as a former police officer, the Mark White Show, and so many different entities like Blue Help.
Well, you know, Mark, I told my wife, you know, in 30 years of law enforcement, you always encounter people they're typically at their worst times. They're at a time of need, a time of desperation, whenever they're seeking the help of first responders. And that's what you come to feel is normal. And I told my wife that I wanted to travel across the country and experience the good side of things and meet good people. And no longer than what I've been into it, I have already started experiencing that.
One of the things, Christopher, that I want people to know right now, listeners who are listening, and say, if they say, I want to be a part of this effort with Christopher, I want to lock arms with him, not literally, you have to ride a bike, but to be able to be a part of this effort, A Penny for Their Thoughts. What do you want people to do to help you on this journey?
Mark, I really think that I'll be taken care of. Just if people see me riding, I'm the fat white guy with white hair in a yellow shirt riding the brown bicycle pulling a trailer. Throw your hand up at me and say, hey. But more importantly than that, I want people to realize that there's a stigma associated with mental health and law enforcement and mental health and first responders. You know, law enforcement a lot of times don't reach out for help when they need it because of the stigma that is attached to it. That's detrimental to the officers, and it's detrimental to the first responders. And it stretches all the way across the board. It's not just police, it's police, fire, EMS, it's even our dispatchers. And, you know, in the military, mental health in the military has really come to the forefront here recently. And that's where the awareness needs to come for all first responders.
Well, being a law enforcement officer myself, I know what some of these men and women go through. The experiences you have as a law enforcement officer, they do stay with you. Men and women who serve, they realize that they have to be very careful about what they say and who they say it to. Otherwise, they may not have a job.
Yeah, a lot of times in law enforcement, you have your core set of friends, just like you would in any other occupation, people that you can confide in. One of my close friends' name was Jay Human. He was a sergeant and a captain, and then later became an assistant chief at our department. And when I started experiencing some issues, I went to Jay and talked to him. And, he recommended that I go and talk to him at EAP and the Employee Assistance Program. And, I told Jay I felt like I was going crazy, and it was anxiety, what I was experiencing. feeling trapped, feeling claustrophobic. But actually talking to somebody, and he told me that he'd been through it himself. And the more that I talked to other veterans at the office, outside of the office, they would open up and tell you these things. But inside the office, it's the taboo subject.
Yes.
And that's what's got to change.
What a relief it is, Christopher, to know when you were in that experience that there were others who were feeling the same, because sometimes if you're in a small department, if it's small enough, you have nobody to turn to. You may be you may be one of 2 or 3 officers, and who are you going to look to? But in a bigger department, if you're at a bigger place, I can see where you could connect with more people, and it still may be a handful, but it's still some that you could look and say, okay, there's my brother or sister there. They're going through a similar experience, and I have now a way to communicate my thoughts and feelings.
All the officers experience the same thing with hypervigilance, where they at work, you're always on guard for your safety, for the safety of others. And even when you go home, you go out to eat with your family, you look at people that walk into a restaurant, you look at people in the cars beside you, and you're never down to the level that the common person is. And that over a period of time takes an impact on your body and on your mind.
And speaking of a period of time, you have 4,300 miles across the country, and it looks like I could probably meet up with you somewhere in Kentucky at some point.
Well, that would be fantastic, Mark. I'd be glad to meet up with you and let you buy me dinner and get me a clean shower.
I think I can do that, buddy. I'll have to look at the list of places. I see the early on, as I said, in Oregon, and then I look across the map that's at the top of your group page, and I see a line, and I just have to guess that you're going through Kentucky. It looks like that to me.
I do. I go through Kentucky, and from everything that I've read on the forums about traveling and people that have ridden the Transamerica bicycle route, they say that Kentucky is the state that dogs will chase you. But I do have a map, and I can send that to you. That's a little bit more detailed than what's on my Facebook page.
That'd be great.
And that would be great to be able to meet up with you.
And Christopher, I want people right now, if they're listening, to go to A Penny for Their Thoughts. That's the group, A Penny for Their Thoughts. You can follow that public group. Follow what you're doing, Christopher. And as I mentioned, just know that there are people out there supporting you. You know it already. I don't have to tell you, but I just want to tell you from my mouth that there are plenty of people out there supporting, and I appreciate Blue Help as well, because I have grown to love and appreciate this organization just in a very short time after I see what they're doing to help these families, because as you mentioned, there is a stigma there, and these families are struggling with the loss of their loved one. Those who have had a family member commit suicide that was a law enforcement member, they're struggling with that, and the benefits aren't the same, and the young people are left without a parent or a caretaker, and that's something that they have to live with for the rest of their lives.
That's right. A lot of times they'll lose their insurance providers and things of that such. Blue Help is absolutely an amazing organization. A lot of people don't realize that we lose more officers each year to suicide than we do in the line of duty. And, my wife made a comment today when I spoke with her on the phone that one of our church members had called and said that was that's something that was new that was happening, wasn't it? And my wife said, no, it wasn't something that was new, that it's just something that's now coming to the forefront.
Well, thank you, Christopher Lowrance, for bringing this to the forefront for people across the country and bringing awareness to this subject. I appreciate you, Christopher, and just know that the Mark White Show is here to help however I can.
Thank you so much, Mark. It was great talking with you.
Thank you, Christopher. Folks, when we come back, we're going to have Kyla Carter with a brand new episode of Kyla's Korner, and she's going to talk about Huntington's disease. I hope you'll stick with us. You are listening to The Mark White Show, and I'm your host, Mark White.
These are my kind of people.
Hi, everybody. This is DJ Thomas. Raindrops may be falling on your head, but on Kyla's Korner, she's living life sunny side up.
Nothing seems to fit.
I'm not your average puzzle piece. I don't give in or give up. I'll always know that I'm enough. I'm not your average puzzle piece or the perfect picture. I don't just fit in with the crowd. I stand out. I don't just go with the trends. I've got my own style. You can see me coming from a mile. I'm not your average puzzle piece.
Welcome to Kyla's Corner. I'm Kyla Carter, and I hope to inspire you to spread positivity, happiness, and kindness through these segments. I live my life sunny side up, and I hope you can too. Recently, I was asked to be a part of the HDSA's NYA Notes of Hope sessions. HDSA, Huntington's Disease Society of America, is a national youth alliance that focuses on raising awareness against Huntington's disease, improving the lives of those living with the disease, and showing young people with this disease that they aren't alone. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is Huntington's disease? I had never heard of it before, and so when I was asked to be a part of their Notes of Hope sessions, I did a lot of research to educate myself. Though not talked about enough, Huntington's disease is a real problem for lots of people around the world. Huntington's disease, also known as HD, is a fatal genetic disease that causes progressive breakdown of nerve cells in the brain. Every child of a parent with HD has a 50-50 chance of inheriting it. Children who inherit this disease have JHD, which is juvenile onset Huntington's disease. JHD is a progressive form of HD that affects teenagers and children more than adult onset HD. HDSA reached out to me and asked if I wanted to help raise awareness by participating in a new program called Notes of Hope Sessions. Notes of Hope Sessions are videos of musicians playing in support of Huntington's disease to raise awareness and help spread the word about this debilitating disease. There are so many amazing musicians who have played in support of Huntington's disease, and I am glad that I get to support and help spread awareness too. They are available on YouTube or on the NYA YouTube channel. The first session is May 17th, where I will be kicking off the Notes of Hope sessions with a few of my original songs. To learn more about Huntington's disease and to join the fight, visit hda.org/NYA. I encourage you to take a look at their website because it is so important to learn and support causes like Huntington's disease. We need to bring light and love into our world as much as possible. And always live your life, as I do, sunny side up.
I'll always know that I'm enough.
I'm Kyla Carter, and you're listening to The Mark White Show. Stay unique and find a way to make a difference that doesn't just impact you, but impacts others around you.
Welcome to the Make a Difference Minute replay, where we play Make a Difference minutes from the past week. Welcome to another edition of the Make a Difference Minute from the Mark White Show, where we're sharing stories to encourage and inspire.
Experience the difference at Athens Bible School. The vision and purpose is to provide each student a quality education in a Christ-centered environment to develop the whole person spiritually, mentally, physically, and socially in safe and supportive surroundings. The solid biblical foundation permeates learning and culture in the classrooms and every extracurricular activity.
This is the Make a Difference Minute
from the Mark White Show.
On this Make a Difference Minute, I have singer, songwriter, musician Patrick Gibson to talk about his new song called The American Prayer.
Us as citizens, we got to understand that there's a sacrifice every day, every morning. Anytime you walk out that door, anytime you get on a plane, head to somewhere different, anytime that shift starts, and for some of them, man, that shift is 24/7. We don't know if that loved one's going to return. We've got dads, moms, aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers, cousins that when they pledge to serve and protect, there's a lot that goes with it. And it's not just the sacrifice of the individual that's doing it, but it's the sacrifice of the entire family. The time away, the worrying, everything that goes with that, man, that's a big thing. And our police officers, our law enforcement, our military, man, that is a daily scenario for them. And I sure hope this song brings that out and opens the eyes of the American citizens. The stuff, the darkness that these people go through, it is tough. Man, I have their back. I know many others have their back. And that was the intentions of this song, is to encourage. We'd love to see and hear from you guys. One, if you like the material, please, you can find us on all of your digital download platforms, streaming platforms, like iTunes, Spotify, whatever that may be of your choice. But if you'd like to go to a hub, we have a website. It's pgcountry.com.
Patrick Gibson, I've really enjoyed having you on the show today to talk about your music, the American Prayer. Just know you have an open invitation. We'll be glad to have you again.
Mark, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for letting just this little old silly old music boy on air. I do appreciate you having us.
Be sure to follow The Mark White Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is Mark White encouraging you to find your purpose by making a difference in someone's life today. Welcome to another edition of the Make a Difference Minute from The Mark White Show, where we're sharing stories to encourage and inspire.
Would you like enhanced energy, better moods, less fatigue, help with allergies, better sleep, mental clarity, or just want improvement of your overall immune health and well-being? Do you need to recover from intense activities, workouts, or sports? Then IV therapy at the Drip Factor inside Trinity Medical Center is right for you. Our IV drips are filled with nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that will help your body replenish, restore, and achieve your wellness goals. For more information, visit trinity-medicalcare.com and schedule your appointment today at Trinity Medical Center, located at 500 Governors Drive.
This is the Make a Difference Minute
from the Mark White Show.
I appreciate the fact that Maria Tyler invited me to go to Blue Springs Elementary School in Limestone County, Alabama, to talk to some special teachers that had made a difference in the lives of her children. She honored them and recognized them with gift baskets and pizza.
I know he loves them. I know they love him.
What do you see at home from the resources that are available, the tools that are available? What do you see out of your son from these teachers and the effect they've had?
Huge growth. Relationship-wise, behavior, educational, everything. Huge growth.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And brought pizza.
Yep.
Well, we always appreciate those donations. And Maria, thank you for letting us be involved with this and inviting us to be a part of this special, unique opportunity to see what these teachers have meant to your children.
Yeah.
And not just your children, but others, obviously, because if there are more kids in there and they're getting what your children are getting, they're getting some great materials, some great tools to be able to help them move forward in life.
Definitely. Yep. Huge support system.
This is Teacher Appreciation Week, so I encourage you to find opportunities to recognize special teachers in your life. Again, I appreciate Maria Tyler for inviting me to be a part of the special recognition at Blue Springs Elementary School and those Mustang Academy teachers, Christy Maddox, Leah Taylor, Miss Caitlin, Ashley Taylor, Dage Starnes, Kayla Bain, and the principal, Mr. Cade Baker. Thank you for the great work that you do, and thank you if you're a teacher, an educator. I thank you for what you're doing in your community to help young people grow and flourish. Be sure to follow The Mark White Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is Mark White encouraging you to find your purpose by making a difference in someone's life today. Welcome to another edition of the Make a Difference Minute from The Mark White Show, where we're sharing stories to encourage and inspire.
Mr. Cecil Batchelor is the one that started this business as Dependable Service Center. And even though now it's Green's Dependable Hardware and we're a True Value store, our tagline is still Your Dependable Service Center. We've tried to keep that alive for all these years. Mr. Batchelor really started a good business. We're really excited to be carrying on a long-standing tradition. It's the oldest retail store in the city of Russellville. We're Green's Dependable Hardware, 15220A Highway 43 in Russellville, Alabama. We're right behind McDonald's or right across the street from the hospital. Number is 256-331-0123.
Your Dependable Service Center.
This is the Make a Difference Minute
from the Mark White Show.
On this Make a Difference Minute, I have Cheryl Hatch with Heroes Rest.
We always wanted to start a retreat center. Over the years, we honed it down and realized that in order to reach our first responders, we couldn't have it be super broad. We had to focus it and have it be private, have it only be for first responders so that they could let down and they could breathe, be away from the general public, general population, so that they could be in a place that's just dedicated for them year-round. Our plan is to make this available for free and, make it a pay-it-forward option if someone wants to, but I'm focusing my fundraising efforts on the community and people who want to support our law enforcement, firefighters, and EMS, corrections officers, all of the first responder world, to help them to avoid burnout, to not become a statistic in this skyrocketing suicide issue, and to, be there to be better at their jobs, to be better in their families. So we're really excited to be starting one of the first, if not the first, retreat center for first responders in the United States. We're really excited, and every donation and every person that is able to help us raise awareness for this is directly supporting and helping our nation's first responders to do their job well and to stay strong. You can sign up for our newsletter at heroesrest.org. That's HEROSREST.org. I've been blown away with how letting people know that we're building this has really encouraged first responder families.
I encourage you to check out heroesrest.org and find out more information about it. Be sure to follow The Mark White Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is Mark White encouraging you to find your purpose by making a difference in someone's life today. Welcome to another edition of the Make a Difference Minute from The Mark White Show, where we're sharing stories to encourage and inspire. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. My wife and I sat down with Harlan Mitchell and discussed our own estate planning needs. I know in our experience, Harlan brought up questions that caused us to think about our current situation and what we need to do moving forward. When you sit down with Harlan for your free consultation, you're going to find out things that you may have not thought about when it comes to estate planning. I encourage you to go to BamaEstatePlanning.com or give Harlan Mitchell a call at 256-216-9884 and schedule your free consultation today. This is the Make a Difference Minute
on the Mark White Show.
On this Make a Difference Minute, I have my friend Carl Ray sharing about his new release of Johnny Nash's song, I Can See Clearly Now.
He is the one, actually, that I credit with teaching me really how to play the guitar, how to write songs. He taught me everything that he knew about the industry, shared his finances, shared his food, shared his life experiences. We sang in church choir together in the tenor section. We held up the tenor section at Progressive New Hope Baptist Church in Houston. And he gave me the keys to his studio because he wasn't writing a lot when I met him. And he said, hey, just here it is. You just go do what you do. And by the way, if you write something good, he said, I'll start recording some of them. And he did. And then he started shopping some other songs for me, and the rest is history. But yeah, he was a phenomenal life coach, friend, brother. We just shared a lot together. He was a good friend. The record can be found anywhere digital music is sold. I can be found on Instagram and Facebook, all of those platforms. But if you go to my website, carlray.com, you'll be able to connect from there to all of the social media sites and to stay in touch with Carl Ray and find out what's going on with me there. And I really want people to not only listen to the record or buy the record, but connect with me on those social media platforms. If you can just send me a note, just say, hey, Carl, I'm going to join you in your mission of hope for our country over the next year. Not only by sharing songs with folks, but just believing differently for our country, for yourselves.
Be sure to follow The Mark White Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is Mark White encouraging you to find your purpose by making a difference in someone's life today. Welcome to another edition of the Make a Difference Minute from the Mark White Show, where we're sharing stories to encourage and inspire. Whether you're new to aviation or an experienced pilot looking to advance your skills, Go Vertical Aviation has you covered. With an excellent learning atmosphere and a staff committed to excellence in education, Go Vertical Aviation will customize a learning program just for you. For more information, go to goverticalaviation.com or call 256-412-5226. Be sure to follow Go Vertical Aviation on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Don't just go vertical.
This is the Make a Difference Minute
From the Mark White Show.
On this Make a Difference Minute, I have Chris Hope with the Chris Hope Foundation. The Chris Hope Foundation's mission is to touch lives, empower families, and fight back against childhood cancer and other life-threatening illnesses.
People who know about St. Jude and pediatric cancer, but their knowledge is extremely limited. I mean, because that was me 6-7 years ago. The only thing that I knew that there was St. Jude and kids with cancer was treated there, but never knew about the impact that it had on the family's lives beyond the treatment that the kids get, and how much families are impacted. Financial difficulties, whether it be relationships with family members, because not only are the parents affected, but the entire family circle is affected. So this is something that we wanted to bring awareness to, along with the support that the kids need when it comes to celebrate birthdays or comes to celebrate no more chemo parties. We look forward to each spring when we reveal some new things. So this year we're focused more on our slogan, which is helping hands, giving hope. So it's more of that that's on display on the website. You know, my main objective is to not say no. We are full volunteer staff, and full volunteer includes me. We are passionate about what we do. We get excited when we're able to help families and, be a positive impact in somebody's life. So, yeah, shout out to the CHL team for sure.
You can find out more about the Chris Hope Foundation by going to chrishopefoundation.org. You can also follow them on social media via Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Be sure to follow The Mark White Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is Mark White encouraging you to find your purpose by making a difference in someone's life today. Again, we would like to thank John Lehr, President and CEO of the Parkinson Foundation, for joining us here on The Mark White Show to highlight the subject of Parkinson's disease. We also appreciate retired police officer Christopher Lowrance for joining us to talk about his coast-to-coast bike ride across America. I encourage you to go to the group and join A Penny for Their Thoughts and follow Christopher's journey. We also appreciate the brand new episode of Kyla's Korner as she shared about Huntington's disease. Congratulations to Kyla on her 50th episode of Kyla's Korner. She's doing a great job here on The Mark White Show, and I appreciate her good work. If The Mark White Show is making a difference in your life, I hope that you'll share this with your friends, your neighbors, and your family as we make a difference together. You can subscribe to The Mark White Show via TuneIn Radio, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Audio Boom, SoundCloud, Blueberry, and on YouTube. Since we are celebrating Mother's Day tomorrow, I want to thank all those who have taken on the role of mother. And I want to thank you for what you do to raise the child or children that you are responsible for. Happy Mother's Day from The Mark White Show. You have been listening to a Saturday edition of The Mark White Show, and this is Mark White, encouraging you to find your purpose by making a difference in someone's life today.
Well, let's all do something good today.